Welcome, Gunrunner.
Hello everybody, RetroLoad here, and I'm back with another book review for you. And the one I'm going to be looking at today is actually a book. It's been out quite a while, I have to admit, but I'm new to it because I didn't buy it when it came out. I think probably because I was short of cash or something. I can't remember the particular reason why I didn't buy this book. But I picked it up more recently because it ended up being part of the Kickstarter package for Hyper Sentinel. Sorry, my mind just went blank and I couldn't remember what the game was called. The cool new Iridium style game that Hewson are doing, or Huey Games or whatever it is they're calling themselves these days. But I got to play Hyper Sentinel at Geek last year and had a really nice long chat with Rob Hewson, which is quite cool because I talked to Rob online many times. I talked to his dad many times over email as well. So we talked a lot, and it was nice to actually meet him in the flesh. And we had a good chin wag and talked about lots of different things. And yeah, it was really great to not only play the game but talk about a lot of the intricacies of it and stuff like that. And I ended up getting a pretty good score on it as well. I think I had one of the highest scores of the day, so I was pretty pleased with myself. And I instantly backed it there and then as soon as I got my hands on it because I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I really can't wait to get it on my Xbox One and give it some more play. Proper good old school shooter. So if you didn't back Hyper Sentinel, then I suggest you look it up and see if you can get in there and make sure you purchase it when it comes out because yeah, awesome. But this was one of the perks for backing it, so I went with this perk because it seemed to make good sense. So Hints and Tips for Video Game Pioneers. It was written by Andrew Hewson. If you don't know who Andrew Hewson is, then shame on you. But he was the founder of Hewson Consultants, a company that made amazing games specifically for the Spectrum Commodore 64, also the Amstrad CPC, and later on they did do some ST and Amiga stuff, although I think the 8-bit years were their best. And then after Hewson disappeared, Andrew Hewson came back again with a company called 21st Century Entertainment, who are probably most famous for Pinball Fantasies, Pinball Dreams, and that whole series of pinball games. Although they did some other great stuff too, and I did write a big 6-page article actually on them in Retro Gamer a couple of years ago. And yeah, they did some good stuff as well. But the funny thing is that Andrew Hewson actually started off in the industry writing books. So this book is kind of actually a complete return to his roots in many ways. Now, those who would want a glossy book full of photos and images and stuff like that, this isn't for you. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking at it because it's not something that's particularly pretty. Signed there, which is nice to see. But I'm going to have a little flick through it so you can see what it's about. I mean, it is really a story of the whole, his whole route into the industry and anecdotes and stories and from Hewson and 21st Entertainment and all those years and how he sees the retro scene and gaming now and stuff like that. And it's really good. It's a really good read. I've read through it. I finished it fairly quickly because it was so interesting. So I really enjoyed it. I mean, you'll see it is mostly text, so there isn't really a lot to show you as such. I mean, I think there is some photos in here. So it goes in birth of publisher. It starts off with his books. The impact of the ZX Spectrum there. So he acknowledges obviously what a really important part that played on Hewson and Hewson coming about. Awards and accolades there. Spectrum specialists. He talks about the guys at Graph Gold, like Steve Turner, who were a big part of what Hewson were about back then. Product summaries. It's talking about there the games that they've done up until that point. Spectrum stuff, and then they went into doing Commodore stuff as well. So there we go. So it shows again more awards and stuff. Their games won. They were always very highly rated. Hewson's games. Raf Ketko talks about there. Seko. I'm not sure, 100% sure how you're supposed to pronounce that. more about the awards they won, going into the 16-bit years and 21st century entertainment. So we're just about to go into that there. I think Future Basketball, I think on the ST and Amiga, I think that was actually one of their last games they published under Hewson, actually. So, yeah, there you go, Griffin from the Ashes. It goes into the birth of 21st century entertainment. And, of course, one of the big things about 21st century entertainment was that the Pinball Dreams, Pinball Fantasies, that series was done by DICE, who are still around to this day and doing the Battlefield series. So, yeah, DICE was had a massive impact on the video game industry. And there are a bunch of demo coders, and it talks about how that all started with DICE. I mean, they've got, and here at the back, they've got Olaf Gustafsson, co-founder of DICE, and Frederick Lilligren, co-founder of DICE. So they've got some guys from DICE as well, software managers from 21st Entertainment. Stuart Gilray, who is at 21st Entertainment, good friend of mine. I talked to him a lot on Facebook. It's good to see him in the book. He's helped me a lot with articles and stuff over the years. So again, a breakdown of some of the games they did there for the ST Amiga and PC. But strangely, it just seemed to say Amiga PC. I've just noticed that. It doesn't actually seem to say any of them are on ST, which is really weird because I know that they were. So that's quite strange that they've not put that. That's really bizarre, actually. More stuff at the back there about certain games, Kickstarter contributors and stuff like that. And that's about it. So as you see, it's not loaded with pictures or anything like that. This is a book that you read. It's not a coffee table book, but if you like reading about historical stuff, you like anecdotes, you like hearing about the early Wild West years of video games, and especially the 8-bit years in particular, then this is the book for you. It's a great thing to read on the train or at kind of work or whatever, and I can't see anyone who wouldn't enjoy it, especially if you're not so familiar, I think, actually, even with Hewson stuff, because especially Americans and stuff will probably find it quite fascinating, because the British market was so completely different to what was going on in America, and you can really get a feel for that by reading this book. So if you're a fan of Hewson's games, or you're a fan of 8-bit games, in fact, if you're a fan of games and those years, and you miss those quirky original games that were around in those years, then I highly recommend getting a hold of this book and giving it a read. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my review of Hints and Tips of Videogame Pioneers, and I will see you all again for another video very soon. Thank you. Bye bye.